Thursday, August 2nd, 2 p.m. Mountain Time, 2018. Guys, in this video, we're going to take a look at yet another possibly historic event that's underway, headed towards the Big Island of Hawaii. We'll get to the details here in just a moment. But first, a quick look at the solar system where all of the planets are currently sharing one side of the sun. A unique planetary position that's only occurred 6 times in the last 120 years. We'll be in this position for another 5 weeks when Mercury will bring us out of this unique arrangement after the first week of September. 5 of the last 6 times we were in this unique planetary position, Earth saw increased volcanic activity, among other things. Right now we're definitely paying close attention to the volcanic activity on Earth, but right now there's an event occurring right here in the East Central Pacific Ocean. A hurricane is forming, and it's forming very, very quickly. This is Hurricane Hector. Its coordinates, or its predicted path at the moment, is to become a Category 4 hurricane in 3 days, a Category 3 strength hurricane in 12 hours, making a beeline towards the Big Island of Hawaii. See this line right here by my cursor? That's the 20-degree latitude. That's 20-degree north latitude. Hawaii sits just below that line right over here. Right now, there are multiple models suggesting this major hurricane making a landfall somewhere between or right on the Big Island of Hawaii and Maui. That's what most of these models are suggesting. And again, this is just a forecasted model. This more than likely can and will change. But right now, we are looking at a very historic event. The volcano on the island of Hawaii, Kilauea, we're all very familiar with that. It's been erupting for, nearly 3 months now, since the end of May? Or the 1st of May? Let's see, May, June, July, 90 days, I know. It's been over 90 days. That is historic. Now you've got possibly a major hurricane about to collide with a erupting volcano. I don't know that this has ever happened, at least in recorded history. It's been talked about by meteorologists and geologists both. What would happen if a hurricane hit an erupting volcano? It's a good question. It's one that was talked about last year, in fact, during the hurricane season. This was dated October 18th, 2017 from theatlantic.com. And they quote some meteorologists and geologists that talk about this very scenario. And they're referring to, in this article, a Category 5. If it came in contact with an erupting volcano, it would, in theory, create what's known as a hypercane. And a hypercane is a hurricane that has winds that break the speed of sound, potentially, if conditions are just right. I don't think we're looking at those types of extreme conditions around the Big Island of Hawaii, but what we're looking at here are the sea surface temperatures, and this is globally. And you can see in the Gulf of Mexico, they're very, very warm, and they're always warm in the Gulf of Mexico. But I would assume that around the Big Island, all things considered, especially the lava entry areas, that the water would be extremely warm. How far out it extends, I don't know. But I'm just applying common logic. When you take into consideration that for the better part of 90 days now, hot lava has been entering the ocean here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So this water has to be warmer. How warm and how far out it extends, I don't know. But a major hurricane coming right at an erupting volcano is truly a historic event. One that's only been talked about. Don't think that it's ever happened. I think it came close to happening back in 1991 when a hurricane by the name of, actually it was a typhoon, Typhoon Yunya hit Mount Pinatubo of the Philippines. And it triggered what they call lahars. And lahars are essentially landslides that are off of volcanoes. Unfortunately, many people perished, and that event created a bigger disaster than the volcano did. But it also extinguished or slowed down the volcano to pretty much nothing. So there are many, many different scenarios that could occur in the event that we're looking at right now with regard to Hurricane Hector and the erupting volcano on the Big Island of Hawaii. Right now, let me show you some of the models that all are pretty much suggesting some sort of a Hawaii landfall. But again, we're looking at 5 or 6 days out, so just keeping it realistic, you know the models are definitely going to change. This is windy.com. Normally, I got to admit, it's very accurate. This is Hurricane Hector. Here's Hawaii. And you'll see it go just to the north. Okay, this is Wednesday. Now we're going into early Thursday. Just to the north of the Big Island. Between the Big Island and Maui. Thursday morning, pretty much a direct hit between Maui and the Big Island, right there. So you're talking not only winds, a lot of rain, looks like it slows down even towards the early part of the Thursday morning hours into Thursday afternoon. Storm surge, you've got an active volcano with lava flow. Just an unbelievable and unprecedented event. And they've already seen historic events and historic conditions out here. Just unbelievable. The island has literally transformed into a totally different place, at least on the southeast end of the Big Island. Unbelievable situation. And now we're looking at a major hurricane possibly making landfall over a flowing river of lava. Just unprecedented. So windy.com shows landfall, Big Island, Maui. This is a GFS model showing right off the coast Thursday, as far up as it will go, at a central low pressure of 968 right off the coast of the Big Island Thursday morning. This is a GFS model. 968 would put this in the neighborhood of a Cat 3, possibly a Category 4. So you have to factor in storm surge, high winds, and of course a lot of rain. It's a tropical storm. Venture Sky, it's always been a reliable source of information with regard to tropical storms and weather in general. It's a good hub. This is a look at Hurricane Hector. Thursday morning, 2 a.m. You see it's just offshore of the Big Island. Let's step it forward 6 hours. Shows it just to the north of the Big Island, but they would still feel a lot of wind, more than likely rain. And again, this is just a forecasted model. You know it's going to change. Then it turns left 3 hours later, 8 a.m., 11 a.m. Turns into the north end of the Big Island at 11 a.m. on Thursday. 2 p.m. straightens out and heads right towards Maui. 5 p.m., a landfall, Maui. So that would bring storm surge, a lot of rain, wind, and you can see the eye wall is just offshore of Maui Thursday evening at around 8 p.m. But again, this is a forecast. It will change. It's just too far out. But right now, all of these models, even null school, as far out as it will go, shows it making a beeline towards the Hawaiian chain of islands. So they're all in at least that agreement. And there's 2 more forming behind Hector that show up on the models after the first part of next week. So a major hurricane forming in the east central Pacific headed towards an active volcano that's already producing its own weather. So you are seriously going to have a clash of the titans out there. An active volcano potentially squaring off with a major hurricane. Unbelievable. Truly an unprecedented event, much like this one here that we've been watching for several weeks. This dust blowing off the west coast of Africa has been just relentless. It's covering pretty much the entire globe with some form of particulate matter. This case here with the tan, it's very thick particulates. This cloud is over 1,500 miles wide. It's headed towards the Lesser Antilles now. It's in the central Atlantic Ocean. Looks like the wind could bring it right up, at least that's the direction now, into the Gulf of Mexico in less than a week. So either way, it looks like this is going to make some sort of a U.S. landfall. This huge, and I'm talking 1,500 miles plus wide dust storm. But it does look like there might be a little break in the action, not much, as this has been going on for weeks. It's got the entire eastern and western hemisphere just loaded in some cases with thick Saharan dust. And it doesn't look like it's showing any signs of letting up significantly anyway. There does look like there might be a little break there just simply because it's turning north into Spain. Look at that. And these are conditions right now. So in the next day or two, Spain could be engulfed in all of this sand from the Sahara. So that's been an ongoing event. So we'll definitely keep our eyes out for the long shot possibility of a hypercane. Is a hypercane even possible? MIT scientists say yes, it is in fact possible. Conditions would have to be ultra extreme. We've definitely seen extreme conditions out here, but are they extreme enough to produce a hypercane? We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully not, but this is an unprecedented event. You have a major hurricane about to square off with an erupting volcano. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a super day, and be safe out there.